always fall short of words whenever I have to speak about Smita and her association with me and with the industry. From the very first moment that we came to know of her was through her face on television. And there was always something very unusual about the way she presented herself, about the way she looked, about the way she conducted her life. And when I had the great opportunity to work with her, I realized so many other things that were extremely, extremely unique about Smita. Smita looked very frail and gentle, almost as frail as some of the wonderful flowers that she used to bring to me when I had my accident. But she was a strong woman, extremely strong, very committed to not just her work, but into her beliefs, in what she believed was right and what was wrong. Some of the things that she did in cinema with me were totally against her nature, particularly a film like Namak Halal, where she had to do a rain dance with me, and she felt it was absolutely away from her culture and thinking, but because it was contracted to do something, we had to go ahead with it. And all the time I used to keep reassuring her that everything will be fine. And then I think a month or two after the film released, the same city, and we met up. And she said, you know, Amitabh, I've worked in so many good films, great cinema, but I feel so sad because at the airport today, all they were referring to was Namak Halal. And she somehow felt a little awkward and embarrassed about that. She was ill during a time when I was about to travel to Mauritius, and I finished very late at night here at a concert and caught a flight to Mauritius. And when I reached Mauritius, she had left us. It'll always be one of my most saddest moments, because she was not just a dear friend and colleague, but a great human being. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
It's Smita's 60th birth anniversary today. Well, she lived only about 30 years of these 60 years. And the latter 30 years, of course, her memory is very fresh, certainly in my mind and all her friends and colleagues. And I see her other directors here in front of me. What is extraordinary about Smita was that she would melt into a crowd. You wouldn't be able to tell her from anybody else. But as soon as she came in front of the camera, she just blossomed. It was quite extraordinary, this blossoming of Smita in front of the camera.
I first set eyes on her in a diploma film of FTII directed by Arun Khopkar. I think it was called Tivra Madhyam. There was a long shot in which she was playing the Tanpura. I was struck by her raw beauty and the stillness she exuded. She was born for the camera. I have had the pleasure of working with Smita in Nishan, Arth, Mandi, Oonch Neech Beach, in roles far apart from each other. I felt both challenged and inspired by her as a co-actor. We had so much in common. We come from similar backgrounds, were introduced by Shyam Benegal, had similar aesthetics, and worked in the same kind of cinema. Today in public memory, I really think I could well be Shabana Patil and she Smita Azmi, as far as public memory goes. She had a short career span, and yet 29 years after she passed away, parallel cinema in India will never be mentioned without Smita Patil's name in golden letters.
When I did Fire, my first film that was released, I was often compared to Smita Patil. I didn't even dare take it as a compliment, as I felt the similarity ended with the color of our skin. What was Smita like as a person? Some words recur with metronomic regularity. Down to earth, warm, sincere, rooted, grounded, compassionate, sensitive, caring, carefree. Myriad adjectives with their infinite connotations, adding up to a woman with high emotional intelligence.